herbs hold a very special place in my heart, especially as an avid gardener, a nutritionist, and a naturopath, and a studying herbalist. I mean, I'm obsessed with plants in general, but especially herbs, just because so many of them are beautiful, taste amazing, smell incredible, and have very potent healing properties. I mean, there are medications that we use today that people consider life-saving that were originally derived of these plants. So they're just very, very powerful. I learned that the best time to harvest your herbs is before they flower, when the leaves are smaller and much greener. But my garden, which was very sadly neglected all summer long, has gone rogue. And I just have a ton of herbs out there, so I wanted to preserve a bunch of them instead of letting them go to waste. So I'm going to show you a few of the ways that I do that. I just want to say there are herbs that you really can just hang to dry, but you have to do that in a very dry place, because if it's humid, they're prone to going moldy and getting mildew and not being healthy or tasty at all. And we don't want you eating bad moldy plants. So I'm going to show you some of the ways that I am going to preserve mine, and hopefully you'll find this interesting and helpful. We'll start with celery and cut off the bums and the tips of the leaves if any of them are kind of dry or brown already, and put them aside either for the compost or if you want to use them for making soup stock later, they're great for that. So same with the ends of the onions, the leeks, or the thicker parts of the herbs, the stems of the herbs that you don't want to use. You can put all of that aside to make soup stock later. And if you don't think you're going to make any anytime soon, you can throw it in the freezer as well until you're ready to use it. Otherwise, just throw it in the compost. And make sure that you cut the celery really, really tiny, as small as you can without turning it into mush, of course. We want all of the herbs and the vegetables that we put into the salted herbs to be as teeny as possible. For the leeks, we'll cut the bums off again and peel away the tough or yellowing outer sheaths. Then slice them lengthwise to reveal any of the hidden soil or mud that might be trapped between the layers. Rinse them really carefully again and then chop them into tiny pieces as possible, just like the celery. Leeks are part of the onion family and they taste similar, but they are easier to digest. So if you love the taste of onions but you have a hard time digesting them, you could always try leeks and see if that works better for you. Rosemary is often used in autumn and winter recipes to give dishes an aromatic and earthy taste, but the timing is actually perfect because it's such an incredible herb for supporting wellness, and autumn and winter are typically cold and flu season. But it's a great remedy for brain fog, muscle pain, indigestion, dandruff, wrinkles, and so much more. Sage is a gorgeous herb that is often used in the autumn because it goes perfectly with squash, mushrooms, nuts, potatoes, soups, stews, and stuffing. But if you've never used it before, use just a little bit at a time and taste your food before you add more, because it's extremely pungent and you only need a little bit to make a big impact. If you put even just a touch too much, it can really overpower the whole dish. Sage is really helpful for sore throats, indigestion, and irregular menstruation, and it's also very calming, so I drink it before bed when I'm having trouble sleeping. Oregano is another warming herb that's often used in Greek food and Italian food, and is used as a remedy also because of its anti-infective, antiviral, antifungal, and antiparasitic properties. You can use oregano oil to treat infections on the skin, but make sure you use at least an ounce of carrier oil like almond oil or olive oil, grapeseed oil, to every 3 to 5 drops of oregano essential oil that you use. And as with all essential oils, make sure it's a pure essential oil and not a fragrance that was made for a diffuser or air freshener or other aromatherapy type product. I'm using flat leaf and curly parsley, and I'm not sure that there's a big difference between the flavor. I know that I prefer the texture of the flat leaf parsley personally, and apparently the flat leaf also has a more robust flavor, but I'm not sure if that's true. I didn't pay attention, to be honest. While you're watching me go through the process of making the salted herbs, you might notice that I'm putting a lot of them on the side as well, and that's because I'm reserving those to blend up later and put in ice cubes so I can put those in the freezer. I'm not doing that with the carrots, the onions, or the leeks, but you could do that also if you wanted to make vegetable broth cubes, for example, or even just add more flavor to your herb cubes. Thyme leaves are so small you don't even have to cut them up. They're really easy to pull off the stems and you can just throw them in whole. Thyme has anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antiseptic properties, which is why it has long been used to help heal cuts, bruises, and scrapes. It's also a great remedy when you use it to make a cough syrup. For the salt, you can use any really coarse salt. It doesn't matter if it's sea salt, kosher, gray, or pink Himalayan salt. As long as it's really coarse, it'll work. For my frozen herbs, I'm going to do one batch with olive oil and the other batch is going to be with water. If you'd like to try this, I have the exact measurements on the website. There's a recipe there, so you can follow the link in the description below. For the frozen herbs, I just pureed them either in olive oil or in water and then funneled that into the ice cube trays. And then once the cubes are frozen, you can transfer them into a freezer safe container. And you'll have yummy herbs to use whenever you like in your soups and stews and sauces and dressings and what have you. You can do the same thing with pesto actually, which is made traditionally with basil, but you can use any herbs or greens that you like. I like to make mine with kale and pumpkin seeds, and I'll be posting that recipe on Sunday for you. You don't have to crush or blend the herbs up to freeze them either. Whole herbs in an ice cube can be really cute in a drink, and it's especially beautiful as the ice melts and reveals the leaves. I love doing this with edible flowers in the summertime also. And of course, you can dry your herbs in a dehydrator or an oven. Normally in the dehydrator, you're going to do it at a temperature of between 95 and 100, and it can take anywhere between an hour and a half to 4 hours or even more, depending on the thickness and the size of the leaves that you're drying. So either look that up or just keep a really close eye on them while they're dehydrating and check on them often to make sure that they're completely dry before you store them. I didn't cover preserving herbs in oils or vinegars, which is definitely something we could do. So if that's something that would interest you, leave a comment below and we'll see what we can come up with. As I said earlier in the video, herbs have so many incredible healing properties, and you don't have to know how to make fancy tinctures or products or soap or other remedies to get the benefits of using these herbs. When you use them in your foods, you're getting the benefits. You can throw a handful of them into your bath with some Epsom salts. You can soak them in your body oil before you use it. You can drink it as a tea. That's what tea is. It's just dried herbs in water. So experiment if you like to do that. Try and see what different blends you can come up with and what works for you. My favorite tea that we make at the Witch's Kitchen is called Femininity, and it's made of rose hips and hibiscus and raspberry leaf and white peony, and it's so beautiful. I love it so much. But I also love making a tea that's just sage leaves. So if you want to keep it simple, you can do that too. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means more to me than you know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and please click on the little bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. I don't want you to miss out on anything. If you have any comments, suggestions, or requests or questions, leave them in the comments below. I promise I will answer you. And take really good care of yourselves.